Hello, everyone. We are happy to be back with all of you after a long, long break. My grandchildren are now with me, enjoying their Onam vacation, as is the practice and has been the practice for the last few years. When we today discussed the possibility of motivating young students, the idea occurred that we could discuss this topic and turn that into a video. My daughter very readily and gladly agreed, and therefore this video. What I want to ask her to begin with is the simple question: what, in her opinion, is the basic strength of a good student? Over to Ria.
Studies is a very important part of every kid's life. It's something which will kind of decide your future or how you live for the rest of your life. The most key concept in being a good student is not any big fancy word. It's basically you should be able to love what you are studying. You should be able to really enjoy what you are reading, so that you can fully enter the text in a way. You can fully be in that moment and that text. That really helps with the focus and the amount that your brain retains.
Okay, so you have identified the main strength of a good student as love for learning. That is, I think, a very important idea. Now, therefore, my question is, if a student loves learning, what happens? What would emerge out of it?
Well, if you love what you learn, you will be so into it, you will be so driven into it that you will start like saying no to all the distractions. You would be so locked into what you are studying that anything else seems unimportant, and you will be focused on what you are learning right now. Your mind will not wander anywhere else. And this is a very important idea, because in this time, in my generation, there's a lot of social media influence. So distractions are something that are becoming fairly common. Students are now more focused into social media learning or social media instead of studying. If you really love what you're learning, then social media will not have any kind of effect on you. You will be more into studying by yourself so that you can grasp the concepts more easily.
So the main point that I get from what you have said so far is that if you love what you are learning, then automatically you will shut out distractions of various kinds. And you also said that young people are living today, unlike my generation, for example, where distractions were very, very minimal, if at all. Young children now, young students are living in a world full of distractions, right? And many people find it difficult to shut out distractions. But if you love what you are learning, if you fall in love with the process of learning, then you've realized that distractions are not a problem at all, and you find it very easy to stay focused on what you're doing. Okay. Anything else in addition to the ability to exclude, shut out distractions?
The main thing is, once you shut out all distractions, you will start to work very hard.
Very nice. Yes.
Because you will be focused on one thing that you can work really hard for. I believe Thomas Edison had said something like, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration.
Oh, very good. Very, very appropriate. Very good.
To get into that level of learning, you need to be able to you need to be willing to work hard, and not just because someone tells you to.
All right. Okay, let's stay a little more with Thomas Edison's very memorable statement about genius. By the way, for a long, long time, I thought this was a quotation from Albert Einstein. But then I realized when I cross-checked, I learned that the real correct source is Thomas Edison. So he says that genius is the capacity to achieve great things, right? So great achievements result from hard work. Okay? 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Perspiration is, you see, when you write a sentence, you create what's called internal rhythm, internal rhyme. See, inspiration, perspiration. That's the beauty of that sentence. So hard work, the importance of hard work. Now, even if you are a genius, even if you are potentially a genius, there's a student who can do outstandingly well, you will not produce the corresponding results if you are not willing to work hard. So your point is that if you really love what you are doing, if you love learning, then you will accept gladly any amount of work. In fact, you will never feel burdened with the work that you do because you enjoy. Enjoyment minimizes the feeling of burden, right? In fact, you forget yourself. When you enjoy doing what you're doing, you forget how much time you've spent with it, etc. So the idea of being burdened is completely out of the picture if you're a good student. Anything else that strikes you?
Another very important thing is you should be able to give respect to the people who are imparting knowledge with you, namely your teachers.
Yes.
Your teachers are the people who are helping you gather this information and are the ones who are giving you access to it. So you should be able to give them respect. And by respect, I don't mean, oh no, I want to touch your feet for you giving me this knowledge. You should be able to receive their feedback in a polite way, and you should be also open to them giving any criticisms because it will help you become better.
Very nice. So a respectful or reverential attitude towards teachers, not only teachers, to anyone who is willing to help you along in this journey of acquiring more knowledge, of being educated, of having your mind expanded concerning this whole world, universe of knowledge. So when you said that respect is not touching somebody's feet, I was reminded of an experience of mine. I'll take a little time to share that with you. I've never said this to anyone before. But my wife knows it because she was a witness to it. When I was a postgraduate student in Delhi University, one of the most outstanding teachers in the faculty of English was a professor called Professor A.N. Cole, who was a senior professor in Columbia. And but out of his love for India, he came back and he became the head of the Department of English in Delhi University, where all the postgraduate students are taught. So I was taught by him. Not only that I was taught by him, he took a lot of interest in me. He loved me and he found a lot of potential in me. And he chose me to be his seminar student. That's a very special privilege. You do seminars with him. And every student at that time thought being chosen by Professor A.N. Cole to be his seminar student was a great thing. So anyway, I had a lot of love and respect. I used to look up to him with great amazement, admiration, etc. Then subsequently, I became a teacher of English. I did not really keep in touch with him. But many, many, many years later, maybe about 40 years after I finished my studies, I got a letter from his wife. Her name was Maithili Kaul, who also was a professor in the same department. She had also taught me. Maithili Kaul, very beautiful girl, a lady, a very, very distinguished, dignified lady. She also, from some strange reason, loved me and cherished me. So she wrote a letter saying that Professor A.N. Cole was completely confined to a wheelchair, and he would like to meet you. By then, I had become the principal of St. Stephen's College. So I immediately decided to go. My wife accompanied me, and I reached his house. And he was waiting to receive me. He was in his wheelchair. I stood stunned for a moment because I had not seen Professor Ian Cole for a long time. When I last saw him, he was in robust health. He was very handsome, very dignified. Really, he looked a classic scholar and an absolutely distinguished, devoted teacher. So that's the image I had. But here he was in a wheelchair. I just couldn't take it. So I immediately bent down and touched his feet, and I started crying like a baby. I couldn't hold back my tears. So that's an experience that I don't mind sharing with young people, because I want to tell all of them, like you yourself realize, that having a respectful attitude to anyone who leads you into a better state of mind, a better state of awareness, a greater possession of ideas, insights, etc., is a very healthy thing. And I have gained immensely from this. I've always cherished, respected, loved my teachers, no matter who they are. And I think I've enjoyed the blessing of that to an astonishing degree. So when you say that students must have a reverential or respectful attitude to teachers, I fully endorse it, because otherwise you could be negative to them. And if you're negative to them, what happens is that your mind shuts itself against them. Even if they're good teachers, they will not be able to help you if your mind is closed against them. Okay? What you have said is an extremely important thing, and I hope all the young people remember this and cultivate this very, very deep strengths of the respectful attitude to those who help you. Anything else that you want to add to our discussion?
The last point, the finishing point that I would like to say is that automatically, if you are respectful towards your teachers, you will have this kind of yearning to excel for them.
That's right.
You will have this passion for excellence.
Yes.
You won't stop until you reach excellence. That's another very good thing that happens when you start paying respect to your teachers. Your mind itself goes into a sort of trance that it won't come out of until you have reached excellence.
That's right. So the outcome, the byproduct of loving the process of learning is that without your being even aware of it, you attain excellence. And attaining excellence must be the ultimate goal of life. The opposite of excellence is mediocrity. And when a person is in a state of mediocrity, that person feels always uneasy about himself or herself. It's a very unfortunate state. On the other hand, if you are pursuing excellence, you'll actually see light on the face of such a person. You'll see that person radiating positivity. He'll be such a healthy influence, even on the class as a whole. In fact, as a student, you can make tremendous contributions towards making the classroom a very positive, vibrant, and enjoyable context. So the presence of just one student who is oriented to perfection is a tremendous asset to the teacher, and that brings out the best from the teacher. You understand? So it's very true. I'm very glad that you have these nuggets of thoughts to share with young people of your age group, etc. So the long and short of it is, as Ria says, and I fully endorse what she has said, that the most important strength a student, shall we say, a good student must have, is the capacity to fall in love with the very idea of learning. And if you are in that state, you will then move on to something else which Ria has mentioned, which is also very important, and that is you will become a lifelong learner.
You know, the syllabus which I am studying, it's not a Indian syllabus, it's a IB, which is a foreign syllabus. And our school has something like a mission or a vision that it follows. And in that, one of the points which is specifically highlighted is that we want our students to become lifelong learners.
That's it. So, which means that education must never end. We must continually improve ourselves. This passion for self-improvement ensures that you stay mentally healthy and your personality is vibrant and you become a positive and beautiful influence on everybody around. So, the basic strengths that you cultivate as a student stays with you lifelong. Good learner now, and you'll become a lifelong learner. And if you're a lifelong learner, you go very far in the acquisition of knowledge. If you do something every day, even one idea every day, make sure that you read 10 pages a day. If you read 10 pages a day in the course of a month, you have read, 300 pages. Otherwise, you would not be, 300 pages is equal to a decent sized book, right? And in 12 months or 1 year, you would be reading the equivalent of 12 books. Most people don't do that. They don't even read 5 books. So the idea of working steadily in a systematic manner is very important in terms of long-term achievement. And that's why it said that Rome is not made in a single day. All great things in the world are achieved over a period of time through consistent effort. Taj Mahal was built in 20 years. Some 20,000 workers working at it regularly. So it remains one of the wonders of the world. So everything great takes time to achieve. So therefore, systematic, disciplined work, what's called patient pursuit of excellence, which is spread lifelong, is really the secret of success. And I think that's also what Edison meant when he said that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So good. Well, thank you very much. I hope young people find your insights useful. So we say goodbye to you now, and hopefully we'll get together again in the near future. Thank you.